Good morning, world. Back again. I got some good news for y'all this morning. But anyway, some people call me poet, some people call me prophet, some people call me preacher. My presentation name is not for sale because the gift God gave me, you can't put a price on it. I want you to take all them names and throw them away because they don't mean anything. The only name I want you to remember I'm on my platform is Jesus, and that's the name you're going to remember when I leave. I seen a small miracle this morning, and I don't know, there's truth in everything. And like I said, you got to know how to take the truth out and leave the rest behind. And so this morning I witnessed something. It's like I told you on my other podcasts that I go around and do certain jobs and stuff. This is what I witnessed this morning. One of the jobs that I usually do, and I was doing it for the older people because they didn't like to see the corner dirty. And there was people that were coming and blessing me, the ones that seen the value of what I was doing. But when I got to the job, now stop right there. Have you ever seen that movie with Bruce Leroy in it? When his master told me, he said, look, he said, now you have to go find the master. And he went over and looked, and he went back to his teacher. He said, I couldn't find him. He said, there's one place that you have not yet looked. He was trying to look and find the truth outside of himself, not knowing that he had to come to a realization that he was the one who was the master. He had to look inside himself, which is something that we all need to do. We go out and we look outside ourselves. Anything that you see a person doing, you can be that too. You just have enough faith in yourself. But here's the it. There was a lesson learned, and it took me a couple years to teach it. But anyways, I went to the job, and it happened to be the whole street was clean. I'm like, boy, God is on. Look, this was the whole point. This is why I did not make people aware of it. I wanted to manifest itself. Don't go to a place and work. Right? This is what I'm talking about. You have to clean yourself on your inner demons. Don't go to a place and work and accept money and for things that you know you should be doing already. You should be doing these things already. Nobody else should have to come by and do it for you. See, so the lesson was taught. I told you I'm a teacher. And I thank God that whoever caught the lesson, they realize it now, because that's now I can take my presence somewhere else and let God use me somewhere else. But never show up and you know that you're getting paid and something that you know you should be doing and allow somebody else to do it. It's dishonesty. Now we're getting to a place where I'm talking about how we got to work on our character. Because like this, I keep trying to tell people, you got people out here, got to get that money, man. Look, check this out. If you take a person's money, you take their house, you take their possessions, who are you then? See, so the abundance is not outside of you, it's inside of you. Let me give you an example where I'm talking about myself. You can take me and drop me off in California butt naked, right? About a quarter in my pocket, right? Not knowing anybody, but the Spirit of God knows the things of God. So I know all God's authentic character, people, because it took me years and years to cultivate these gifts. See, so our gifts are not of flesh, but they're of a spiritual nature. So you can drop me off, and just by me based on identifying them people, I can pull out my gifts. I'll be on the first thing smoking with a new suit on back in New York. And people walk around, yeah, I got abundance. I just ain't reached up in my kingdom and pull it out yet because I don't need it. I don't want it. I live off what I need. I don't live beyond my means. I try not to. I used to do that all the time. But I don't do that. But let me share some things about myself that people told me that I was making a wrong choice. When I got out of prison, right, part of my parole stipulation was I had to go to this place called Phoenix House. In the Phoenix House, right, when you're in a controlled environment, and back then it was like they were using compensation skills. Other words, like When you come in, they'll give you a position you might have to sweep the floor or whatever. But say when you're walking around the clients, right, and somebody seen a behavior in you that they didn't like, that what they would do, what they call drop a slip. They would write on the slip how you made them feel and whatever this and that. So now watch this. They would have confrontation group. So they'll go to the authority. They'll go to the authority. So they would have a confrontation group. Distraction always comes. They would have a confrontation group. So what they would do at Phoenix House, the particular one I was at, is J Street in Brooklyn. They would have, there's 120 clients. One's on contract. If you're on contract, that means that you've done something, and they put you like in the pots for 30 days, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and them pots. I did pots for 60 days. I'll tell you, that's another story. But anyway, they will put you in the middle of the room, what they call the chair. See, and whatever that person will come up and confront you and about your behavior. And once they confronted you about your behavior, they will go around the room with other people to see if they could identify that behavior in you. If at least 5 people or 6 people do that behavior, right? And you could either cop to it. If you didn't cop to it, you would get a contract for that behavior. So what it did was one of the greatest things. I had people that were in the church. I love all God's people. But people, you got to learn how to hear God. Everywhere you've ever been in life is right where you're supposed to be. Say you should have been in Harvard. If you weren't, it wasn't real. Everywhere you've been, it's how you place value on where you've been. So your here is no better than you're there. Let me put it this way. So Phoenix House, like what they taught me was this. Stop being the victim, okay? Blaming wherever your situation, wherever you're sitting at in life, don't blame other people while you're sitting there. Because you got there by the choices that you made, okay? That forced me to take a look at myself, okay? And I stayed on contract a lot of times. It forced me how to try to deal with my attitude and my behavior. In other words, what they would did, their object was to tear you down. Because when you're in drug addiction, alcoholism, what it is, we are in those things for this simple reason. Because we don't want to deal with how we feel, okay? Okay, so if I don't want to deal with how I feel, I have me a beer, I'll go do a drug, and then but guess what? When you wake up in the morning, the problem is still there. But the whole point I'm trying to make is this morning, right? I went up to this place, right? And I had a short on change yesterday, and I went and got a loaf of bread, and I came back and paid the guy. This morning, he tried to tell me, well, you never came and paid me, right? But what you don't know, one of my gifts is my memory. Now, I was in Phoenix 22 years ago. This philosophy that they gave me, the truth is right in this philosophy. Show you how Jesus will show up. He won't show up under the title of a Christian. But there's many truths that are in this philosophy. And so truth was scattered. That's what happened. It was scattered. So you have to pick it up as you go along the way in life. But you couldn't graduate, right, until you learned this philosophy. That philosophy was 22 years ago, and I still got that in my heart because it's a part of who I am. So if you come and tell me that I owe you, you know what I'm saying, I tell you that I paid him anyway. But I already knew he was lying. But let me share the philosophy with you. Our philosophy is that every person has an inborn dignity and self-pride. But pride is like a young sapling that must be trained, channeled, and nurtured till he's able to become deeply rooted, stand alone, self-supported, and unshakable. And his conviction that his firm foundation will stand the test of any ill wind that may attempt to uproot it. An ill wind has stunted the growth of our pride. We need others' help. We must dig our roots deeper, make our foundation stronger, learn to combat and defeat all obstacles that stand between us, our goals of maturity, dignity, and self-respect. Our symbol, the phoenix, which derives from the Egyptian myth of the great bird, which destroyed itself by fire and risen again from its own ashes. It is what we, who have destroyed our lives by drug addiction, are striving to do. Rise, rise, rise to the ashes of our defeat. Take our rightful place in society. For society will accept us, for once we have gained our dignity, we will be society. And I live that to this day. You don't see nothing holding me up. Okay, there's people in my life, and let me tell you something. People will come and tell you this. This is one of the biggest lies I've ever told. I don't care what people think. No, don't listen to that. That's a lie from the pit of hell. You have to care what the right people think. Because you got people that are in your lives that will come in as soon as something happens, you move out the way. But anybody in my life like that, they can move right out the way because I can stand on my own. Okay, so I want to leave that message to y'all this morning, and never tell people that you don't need anybody. God can come in your life and remove one person, and your whole existence will change. That's why you have to understand value when you see it. You find a valuable person, you want to keep it. So let it be written, so let it be done.